I guess I better say something about the United States now. Well, wow, those lights are bright. I wasn't going to make do a presentation, but like Stuart, once you're up here, you might as well. No, I do have a few words of closing, mainly to kind of wrap things up in advance of dessert. I just want to, and I will say a few words about the United States, but not specifically about a very exciting initiative called Canada, California, that'll be for another time. I'd just like to conclude by making three observations as we look at the years ahead. When you look at the major issues that preoccupy all countries and all people in all countries, concerns over health, concerns over caring for the aged, concerns about effective health care delivery, concerns about the environment, pollution, availability of clean water, climate change, energy, and economic renewal, where are we going to find the answers to all these challenges? Well, we know where we're going to find the answers. We know that innovation is going to play a huge role. You only have to look down south. Thank you, Stuart Beck, for the intro. Down south to the United States to see how President Obama has selected some of the key people. He selected a leading scientist to head the Department of Energy to deal with some of the critical issues the United States is facing. He didn't select Stephen Chu, a Nobel laureate world-leading physicist, because he suddenly was enraptured by science research and development and had heard or read or even made a few speeches. He selected him because he has real problems to address and he knows where he's going to find the answers. At the cabinet table in Washington, a small cabinet table, no less than 3 scientists occupy prominent roles. We know what the answer is going to be in the big engine of research in the world. The second point I want to make is basically a good news point. If in fact innovation is going to provide the answers for some of these critical issues that are facing us, it's important to keep remembering, and it's hard sometimes to realize because we're living in this age, we're living in an age of unprecedented pace of discovery that has no parallel in human history. It's accelerating year after year and with no end in sight, and there's 2 aspects to that pace of discovery because it touches on the whole issue of partnerships. And thanks for that second toast, Kevin. We must invite you back year after year, otherwise we wouldn't drink. It's that 2 aspects in the pace of discovery. It's interdisciplinary in nature, and the disciplines feed on each other. If you think of expressions or terms or approaches or priorities such as nanotechnology, green IT, proteomics, computational biology, if you're more than 40 years old and you spent any times in schools of science and engineering, you never heard those terms before. These are actually new approaches enabled by the growing multidisciplinary approaches to new discoveries. And what does that mean? That means more cooperation and more partnerships between the researchers themselves across countries and within countries. The second thing is the enabling capacity of information communication technology to actually do that kind of collaboration. The first beneficiary of advanced innovation, advanced discovery is the process of scientific discovery itself. It feeds itself in a positive sum game. Let's not forget that the internet itself is primarily an offshoot of scientists, mainly in the United States, wanting broadband high-speed networks in order to communicate better in order to do research together. Why are these 2 aspects of innovation important? Because the conclusion is even large countries like the United States, like China, like India, cannot do it alone. The complexities are too great, the pace is too fast. No country has all the capabilities, all the strengths in all areas in order to address those important issues that I referred to before. Collaboration is important and the benefits are huge. We have a long experience through the Canada-Israel Science and Technology Cooperation Agreement on how these cooperations make sense for both countries and how they build relations. Building on that experience, you now heard today breaking similar ground with India and China, and we look forward to doing this with Brazil, Sweden, France, and all the countries represented around the table. We believe Canada can be the best partner you can have for a whole range of reasons. Some of them were addressed eloquently by both David Fung and Natalie Day. Nous sommes encouragés par un très bon départ, mais notre travail ne fait que commencer. C'est maintenant le moment d'accélérer le pas. Avec l'appui continuel de notre gouvernement, nous serons à la tâche. Over 60 years ago, the then Chief Science Advisor to the President of the United States wrote a remarkable letter, pamphlet really, called Science, the Endless Frontier. And in it, he laid out the future of American science and its central role in building the economy of the future. The theme to that report, and I recommend it to anyone who hasn't read it, the author is a remarkable man called Vannevar Bush, is that while there may be limits to our lands, to our water resources, even as in a sustainable mode, there is no limit to knowledge and the empowerment it provides. No limit at all. As true today as then, perhaps even more so, we all have the means and the reasons to work more closely together, and in our small way, ISTP will be up to the task. I want to add my words of appreciation to our small staff, to our partners at the Industrial Research Assistance Program, the Ontario Centres of Excellence, whose president and CEO is with us today, to regional agencies, provinces, to the science-based departments and agencies of government. We heard about the partnership we have with Agriculture Canada, and to the speakers today. Je vous souhaite tous une bonne fin de journée. À l'année prochaine. See you all next year. We'll have more news for you. Thanks very much.